Audra.
And I'm Nick.
And this is Taco Tearsday.
A show about tacos, tears, and teenage years.
Yeehaw, I love that it rhymes.
I know.
Thank you, Maddie.
Poets, and we had no idea.
Yeah, Maddie's
I fucked that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Maddie this week, our sponsor. Insert applause here.
Nick thinks like I'm a great editor.
She absolutely is.
Thank you.
She absolutely is. I don't know. For those of you watching, you might notice something a little different this week. We have body mics now.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
I know there's a technical term for it.
Are you talking about my hair?
A lot of stuff's different. My mustache is there.
Yeah, I thought you
were a little bit more.
Oh my
every week.
Fucking goodness. Interrupt me one more time, bro. I just hit my mic.
And what?
And I'm gonna choke you with the spoon.
I'm gonna fuck around and find out. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're upgraded over here, guys. We have production value now. We got sponsors and shit.
For the fifth time, if I may speak, we're gonna have to get a talking stick. I was gonna say that I thought you were talking about my hair being different because it's up in pigtails. For those of you listening only.
And that it does not look like a rat's nest. Yes, that is also different.
So you're saying it looks like a rat's nest every time?
If you ever go to that Tacos, Tears, and Tontas, I think you got that. You got that wild.
I think it was Tacos, Tears, and Tony Braxton, I thought.
It was something.
No, I think it was the Tontas. I was looking real ratchet.
Ratchet.
Like
you went from clown to clown.
I went to clown to stay clown. I thought my bros were going to help me out here. You know, Nick claiming that he's like all into beauty and fashion and makeup and shit. But he's just like, I'm going to let Allie look like shit. I'm going to let Allie look like that. And I'm going to like take the cake, you know?
Yeah. People think it's my show.
Right.
She's like, I do the editing. What do you do? And I'm like, I am the talent.
Right.
Yeah. So
the talent descriptor.
So again, thank you, Maddie, the sponsor. Where you picked up the tacos this week? Where
I sure did.
Where did these come from?
These came from, if you can read this lovely bottle here, Palacio Maya.
Does that mean the Mayan palace or like the Mayan place, Palacio?
My cousin Maya, this is her restaurant actually.
Oh, cool! Keep it in the family.
Yeah, she's 13.
You get a discount?
Well,
she's 13.
It's not really her restaurant. I just have a cousin named Maya, so.
Oh, Kawinky Dinkle.
Yeah, small world. We also call our house the Perkle Palace, so Palacio, Maya.
Oh,
you know.
Okay.
It's a fun time.
Yeah, I love
fun
that.
to be alive. So I got myself a chorizo taco. Ooh. Literally, she just put chorizo in here. I asked her to like put potatoes. She's like, we can't do that. We don't have potatoes in our restaurant. I was like, that sucks. I asked her to put egg.
Taco Bell too. Everyone's doing it with potatoes now. I don't know.
Manager called. Or manager checked the kitchen, had no fucking eggs. Excuse my language, even though I
You're like, can I run to the grocery store real quick?
Like, do you guys need help? But I got a show to run, you know. And then for you, I was like, yeah, any vegan tacos? And she said no. So I was like, just put some beans in there, baby.
Yeah.
And she added lettuce, and I told her to bring tomatoes. Where are the tomatoes?
Joe took the tomatoes, I think. Oh my God.
What are you going to eat the chips with tomato?
This is a rare glimpse. You get to see Joe's arm.
What?
Oh, scandalosi. I don't speak Spanish. And look at this. This is a whole ass tomato. Bang for your buck over here with Palacio Maya. 10 out of 10.
Damn near cost like $50. But I also ordered 3 tacos for a friend.
Damn.
And beans and rice. He's eating it.
Maddie's sponsoring everybody else too.
No. I told him, I was like, your portion's not part of the sponsor.
Yeah.
And I told him who's sponsoring, and he's like, oh, Manager Maddie, because that's what I have her in my phone as. And I was like, that's the one.
Love it. Yeah. Well, it's indeed what they do. It's just so
and then beans and rice, and of course margs. We got them frozen this time.
Yeah. They'll they're like they're still liquidy. It's just very very frozen on them. Are we starting out?
I love that Ohio now. And I think Michigan is doing to-go alcohol. Like, where have we been?
Oh, my God.
Oh, I love it. You get it in your fingerprints. It's so cute.
It's very cold.
I literally just put it back in there so I could cheers with you. Cheers to what? To teenage years.
To surviving the teenage years. Oh, my God.
Cheers to teenage years. Oh, my gosh. Everything rhymes. Tears, cheers, years.
My worst fears.
Oh, good one. All right. Who wants to go first?
I don't know. I feel like you look more interesting, so maybe you should go first. I'm also hungrier.
All right.
Are you hungrier
I'm
than me?
hungry.
Oh, if you're hungry,
No,
go ahead.
that's what you were saying earlier.
Oh my God, you're so polite. Yeah.
Yeah, I was with my buddy, and he's like,
So I'm gonna build my.
"Are you
taco.
coming over?" He's like, "I need to. Do you want to go out to eat?" And I was like, "All right." I was like, I was headed over to a friend's house, and he's like, "When are you gonna be here?" And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Cause I'm hungry." I was like, "No, you're not." I said, "You need to say it like this. I'm hungry." I was like, "So I know how hungry you are." And then he actually did say, he said, "I'm hungry." I know that was a really great story. If you guys want to listen again, you can just rewind 10 seconds, okay? So, and then I found $10.
Work.
Kidding. That's what you're supposed to say to make a story more interesting.
Oh, and then you found $10. Oh.
Yeah, you never heard of that?
No, never.
We used to do that all the time back in my house.
Why are you telling such initially disinteresting stories?
Well, because you didn't say, "Oh, haha," you didn't laugh. So I was like, and then I found $10, and then you were like, "Oh, wow, that's cool."
I have found literally $50 on like the sidewalk walking through my neighborhood. Yeah, like a $50 bill.
Well, yeah, you live in Perrysburg. Walking through my neighborhood, I found a 50. You're like Charlie from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when he finds that money to go get a chocolate candy bar.
Mm.
And because you're a broke bitch. But anyways, kidding. You can call me a broke bitch, but I can't call you a broke bitch. Copy that. So teenage years, yeah. Basically always grounded. I was always grounded. Mostly for talking back. You know, got a lot of soap in the mouth. It was a fun time. My dad would use bars of soap, and when I would resist, he would grab my jaw. Gosh, this sounds like child abuse.
Yeah,
and rub the soap on the roof of my mouth.
Like things you can't get away with in 2020.
And then my brother came by as I'm like crying, like soapy bubbles in my mouth. He's like, "I used that bar of soap this morning." I was like, "Fucking great, I'm eating your pubes, so what's new?"
Weird thing to think about.
There's hair on bars of soap. When you live with a family with 5 children, the bar of soap in the bathroom always had hair. Like, not a lot, but like enough that it would catch, you know? And then you try and get it off and you like can't. You'd have to like dig into the bar of soap to get that hair out. So just better off leaving it on there. But I didn't use the bar of soap. It was only used to be put in my mouth. I used like actual body wash. I think too, you're like not supposed to wash your genitals with like a bar of soap. That's what my gyno told me. You're not supposed to use the same soap that you use to wash your face on your body that you use to wash on your body on your genitals. I believe. Gosh.
I have several questions.
Go, hit me.
No, I don't want to dig into that.
Okay.
This rice is fire, by the way.
It is Palacio Maya.
Oh my God. Go off, y'all. Like, as far as taco construction, like, I will say the base taco, a little whatever, but we also weren't.
I made it hard for you.
Yeah, but like, as far as the other, oh my Dios mío. I'm bilingual. I don't know, like, and we've talked about this before, like, just with each other. Our life experiences in general are very different.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly because you grew up as, you know, like
the most hated child in my family.
And as like a young woman of color, whereas I was like
represent
white gay boy in the South. So like when we talk about certain things, like I don't know that I was ever really grounded.
Dude,
I think
all the time.
I think my grounding was mostly again maybe I was in a constant state of grounding because for me, this is like full disclosure, my therapist is off for 2 weeks and I normally have a visit with her tomorrow. So like I'm like maybe I shouldn't talk about this.
Get ready for the tears.
But I will just like in reprocessing some of this like childhood shit. But like I remember being quite excluded from the family that I was kind of a part of because like the very condensed, sweet and condensed milk backstory of this is my parents separated. My mom was not in a position to take care of me, so like I had to go live with my dad, and my dad like swiftly remarried one of his mistresses, who had like kids of her own already.
How many mistresses do you have?
Like he cheated a bunch. It's like not great. So my mom because the divorce happened and my mom's parents died or the parents died and then divorced. Yeah,
oh my God.
Like a lot of stuff within a small span of time, within like 5 years.
Oh.
A bunch of shit went down. So she was like going through it.
Yeah.
And I like, as an adult now who like has his own mental issues, I'm like, oh, I fully understand that. Like, holy, like you did the best you could. But I did. I had to go live with my dad, and he chose that family, and they were really cool. But they didn't really choose me. So I was very much the redheaded stepchild, Cinderella, if you will, for this group of people. Like my dad was working all the time. So in the Cinderella story, he wasn't dead like in the traditional story or in like the Disney fight. But I had a stepmom who was not a huge fan of me, and I had two step siblings who also were not a huge fan of me. Which I'm like, it was very present and known that I like was not a part of that family.
I'm not laughing because it's really sad, but I'm laughing that
you're laughing at my trauma for all.
No, I'm laughing because you're like, I also had a stepmom, just like Cinderella, and two step siblings. So
like, yeah, like I am Cinderella.
And when you're saying that your dad's not actually dead, I was like thinking in my head like he's dead to you though. So you might as well
he was
be
just working all the time. Like he literally, like I get my workaholism from my father, and that's the thing. Like he was just working all the time and working to make the money to provide the life, you know, for this family. You know, like he did like this big addition to their house. They got a pool and shit like the year before I left. Like,
but are you guys on good terms?
I don't talk to him anymore. Like
that's what I'm saying. So now is would you consider him dead to you?
I mean, I'd consider him a stranger. Like he did reach out to me
on your birthday.
No, Thanksgiving a couple years after I left. I think it was I can't remember how, but like he reached out at some point. And I was like, oh, like, and he would do that. He would do like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and like my birthday. So he'd reach out every like six months or so to me to just kind of check in. And I was like, okay, like, hey, dude, you know, like things are good. Like, how's your family? Yada yada. Like keeping it amicable.
Yeah.
And then for a while it was like there was not much communication going on. And then like I thought everything was fine. Like my brother still talked to him. Like I do have like a biological brother, but he was like living with my mom basically the whole time. So like, and he was doing his own thing. So like,
wait, what? So you said your mom wasn't.
But like my brother was older and he was kind of doing his own thing. Like,
how much older is your brother than you?
He's 5 years older than me, but he was like a troubled child. Like got involved in like gangs and shit. So like, so my dad and stepmom didn't want anything to do with that. They were like, no. They were like, you can go live with her. Like, and my brother basically took a job at like Kmart and sold drugs to like support he and my mom. And I, like as an 8-year-old, probably wouldn't have been able to, or whatever, however old I was, would not have been able to do that. I think you could work at Kmart when you were 15 back then. I think you could bag groceries at 15.
Jeez, oh please.
Yeah, it was like not ideal. Can you stop making a mess?
I'm hungry.
Stop taking a huge fucking bite. Just take 2 smaller bites.
No, it's the beans. I thought the rice.
Get a smaller. This. You are ridiculous. This beautiful studio which we inhabit, and you are just tearing it apart.
Look, I'll clean.
As I talk about like my teenage and adolescent traumas. Tacos, tears, and teenage trauma.
It's a good time to be alive.
No, it just wasn't ideal. And so like when I hear about you, you're like, oh, I was grounded, like my siblings, whatever. Like you have this kind of, I wouldn't say like idealized or traditional family, but you have more of like some people could see that as like a more relatable family experience. Like, oh.
I feel like everyone's family is crazy, drama. Like the older you get, you're like, oh. Like,
yeah, but like your siblings being like, haha, like I washed my ass with that. Like, like your siblings being hardy-har about that. Like
that wasn't funny. He was being legit ass serious. And I'm like, screw you, buddy.
No, I know.
Let me put.
That's like, mind. I think more people could relate to that than like my siblings who like straight up like locked me in my bedroom because like they like wanted to hang out and do their own thing and like they didn't want me to do stuff. Eric, my stepbrother, my older stepbrother, he was
Harry Potter.
Yes. Oh my God. Eric, my stepbrother, this is turning into a therapy session. This motherfucker, and I forgive these people for what they did because I'm sure that I wasn't the easiest to get along with either. Like I will take 50% of the responsibility here, but the other 50% like is definitely on them too. So being a homosexual, I was not and continue not to be interested in things like sports or like other like, you know, stereotypical male things like sports do not interest me. Cars do not interest me.
Girls.
Girls do not interest me. I just didn't have like a love for those sorts of things. And so in order to, and this manifested relatively early because I had a stepsister who was about my age who had like Barbie dolls and stuff. And I was very taken to those sorts of things. So they did eventually get me a Ken doll for Christmas. That was lovely. But my stepbrother, Eric, who was like into, guy stuff, very like,
stereotypical male stuff.
yes. He, in order to like masculinize me or whatever, after school. So I would get home from high school. High school let out before.
I keep laughing because I'm like the things you're saying. I'm laughing because like I'm having memories and flashbacks to things that I've been doing.
Yeah.
Like your brother's over here trying to masculinize you. Like me and my siblings, we dressed my brother up in a wig one time.
Yeah, and that's like...
And like painted his nails and sent him to the door to go knock on it to see if he could like trick my dad into thinking he was another person, like he was really gonna fall for that. But he looked just like my cousin. But like that's the stupid shit we
And he's
did.
like, what are you doing? He's like, you're not my dad.
Your favorite.
It is.
Well, I'm curious though, because you said that you were young, like around 8. So like, are these?
Well, this progressed. So I was in
teenage
so I was in
years?
high school at this time. I was 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Fresh man. So getting home, his like, we'll call it, we'll be super traumatic about it and call it fucking conversion therapy because that's essentially what I feel like he was trying to do. He was a bum who continued to live at home after the age of 18. So...
Okay, chill out.
In his case, he was a bum. Other people do it. It's very financially advantageous, especially in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
Do your thing, make that money. He was a bum about it. Full ass bum. And so, and I say that with as much hatred as my heart will allow me to produce. He would, I'd get home, because my stepsister was like a year younger than me, so we were in middle school at about the same time, but she was always like a year, whatever. So I was in high school, and the high school let out 2 hours sooner than middle school.
Mm-hmm.
It was like high school would let out 1 hour, and then elementary school, and then middle school was like the last to go out.
That's weird.
They also like started later, like it was a whole fucking weird thing.
Interesting.
I know, in Florida. So the high school was out, so I would get off the bus, get home, and again, like 14, 15 years old, I get home. My father would not be home, my stepmother would not be home, and my stepsister would not be home. Eric would be waiting for me out front, and he would greet me at the front door. He would take my book bag, set it inside, and then he would close the door and lock it behind him, like key or whatever. And then we'd proceed to go to the backyard and play football until somebody got home. Like tackle ass this fucking, what was it, 15, 16. So this almost 20-year-old man out here in the backyard,
like
tackling me like into the dirt and shit, like
beating the shit out of
and
you.
he's like, yeah, like get past me. I'm like, even as a little kid, I'm like, you weigh twice as much as I do, because he was also a fat fuck back then.
Oh my gosh, Nick.
Full ass, Eric, if you're out there and you're seeing this, you can fucking choke. Like, you did a lot of shit that was very hurtful to me, and I've spent like almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years this summer. I've spent like a good chunk of time in fucking therapy over this stupid shit. Years later, I'm 30 years old. So like, thanks for that.
I'm sorry.
So like fucking, and I don't truly mean that. And you're definitely not watching this because you probably have like 18 kids by now, you fucking bum. That you gotta like run around. And you're probably also like cheating on your wife and shit. And I don't know, whatever. Full fucking hate for you.
Aww,
douchebag. But fully would do that shit. Like all the time, and I wouldn't be able to stop until like my stepmom got home, which could be 2 to 3 hours later.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then why didn't you get your homework done? Why didn't you clean the house? I'm like Eric was making me stay outside. Like she's like, oh, he wouldn't do that. Like I'm like, bitch, yes he would. He did. So I would be like behind on my homework and shit. Like
it's not.
I had like daily house chores to do every day.
Same.
I wanted to watch Grey's Anatomy.
I had daily house chores. We had freaking chores every day of the week except for Sunday.
Fun.
One of our neighbors, my mom like walked in her house, saw this daily chore list she had on the fridge, and my mom stole that from her. And I was like, Mom, no! It was not the happiest.
Was the OG fucking bitch ass parent. Like, the fuck you mean daily chore? Have you seen these things? People torment their kids. They're like, do you want the Wi-Fi pass today? They're like, take a picture of the bathroom being cleaned. And I'm like, oh my God.
Just keep a picture of the clean bathroom on your
phone.
phone.
I think it's gotta be like,
Like, show today's newspaper.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry you had to go through those experiences.
Right?
I went through some shitty stuff too, but like, I mean, I'm not judging you.
No,
I just feel like I can't like hate someone, but maybe I didn't have that sort of experience like enough.
I do
like,
not hate him. Disclaimer, I don't actually hate this guy. Like,
okay.
forgiveness has been there, but he does suck shit through a tube.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably like the worst thing. Maybe that's why. See, I feel like I don't even know if I have trust issues because I feel like when I get into relationships, I like trust really big, and I'm like, oh, this person doesn't have a secret girlfriend. Like, but when I was younger, I used to write in a diary. This is not teenage years, a little off topic, but still young. I used to write in a diary.
Taco's tears and through the years, traumatic years.
And I would like the neighbor, and it had a lock on it, this little diary I had.
Mm-hmm.
I think my cousins and siblings broke into it and they saw that I liked the neighbor kid and they made fun of me and stuff. So I literally developed a code, my own code that I could read. And the funny thing is, it was like a bunch of symbols.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back at it now, it's like actually all the symbols, like in the English, when you're correcting and doing editing for English, writing and stuff. Like,
yeah.
And I was like the slash, the period with the circle around it,
Squiggle
like
for
the arrow.
capitalization. Yeah.
Yup, like
Insert
that's
the
all
carrot. You ever do the carrot?
Yeah, that's
inserting
all
stuff?
my code right now. Like the carrot with
So
the comma.
you write in punctuation, is what you're saying.
Kind of, but it's a code. I still have my diary, and I like looked back, and I would just write the names in the code, so like no one could make fun of me if they found out I liked like Joey or whoever. Like
You're like, I am madly in love with ! Exclamation point, question mark.
pretty much.
Oh my God.
But it made sense to me. And then I had another code that we developed with my friends in middle school. But you were talking about sports, and you were like never grounded. I was always grounded.
My life was a grounding.
Yeah, me too. And I swear, I mean, there's 5 of us kids, so even my like, and the other thing too is like my dad was always tough on me. I feel like more on me than he was on all the other kids.
Oh.
And my friends would even see this, like that he was just being like really tough on just me. This is how I felt and how other people perceived it too. Even my siblings said they like saw this. Dad, I know you're not watching this, but if you ever do, like, you know, why? I don't know. But
like Angie, let him know.
No, I think we've talked about this before, and my dad said something that I don't want to repeat. Nothing bad. Like, it was actually really good.
Yeah.
And why
You're
he
adopted.
was...
Yeah.
No, why he was tough on me. He's my stepdad. Why would he come ruin my life and be like, you're also adopted? No, but I got grounded from sports my freshman year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't freaking try out for, like, the spring sport, and I was going to try out for soccer. Mm-hmm. So I also blame my mom for ruining my life, because I could have been...
Could have been an all-star.
Yeah, I could have been.
I could have been a contender.
So she grounded me. So I like did cross-country gymnastics, and then I got grounded. Mm-hmm. And then I was going to try out for the freaking soccer team that year. I love soccer. I love to play football, as my people say. What? Are they not my people? But I was going to say, yeah, we just had very, very different experiences growing up. I mean, kind of another topic of different experiences. You know, I mean, we both hit puberty, right?
What do you mean?
Wow, you just born with that mustache.
Honestly, it's to the point I forget about it now until I see it, and then I'm like, oh, pedophile in my house.
Here it gets me. So I started...
Not really that. It's more like a white trash stash. It's not like a pedophile stash. It's more of a white trash stash.
Yeah. Have you seen The Lovely Bones?
No.
Oh my gosh, I hate that guy in there.
Nope.
Anytime I see him in another movie now, I'm just like, pedophile.
Who?
The guy who's actually in the Hunger Games with the purple hair.
Stanley Tucci.
I think that's his name, but in this movie, he
Wait,
plays
was he in The Devil Wears Prada?
I don't know. I haven't seen that one. But he plays such a good pedophile. Like, I literally hate him. Like, I know it sounds like...
He plays...
I know.
He plays such a good pedophile.
He does. You have to... If you watch this movie...
I don't want to ruin my image of Stanley Tucci. I prefer Stanley Tucci as Nigel from The Devil Wears Prada, the fabulous whatever the fuck he does for that runway.
He's a
magazine.
good actor, honestly.
Absolutely. The
Every
guy
now
with
and
the
then I'm
purple
like,
hair from Hunger Games.
Stanley
Tucci did not.
Is that
Yes.
purple hair there? Well, I was gonna say
It's like people saying like they're like the lady from that space movie, Gravity, or like the lady from Bird Box, and people are like, Sandra Bullock did not, fight her way to where she is now to be called the lady from Bird Box.
I don't know his name.
Stanley Tucci.
Those are the only 2 movies that I know that he's in. No, I think he's in a couple. Anyways, back to puberty.
He's in Julie and Julia.
Haven't seen that.
How are we friends? We have
it's about cooking and shit. That's your type of stuff.
It's Amy Adams.
Regardless, is it not about cooking?
It's like about her journey to find herself and something she's passionate about.
Exactly. And you're
there
a big
just also
chef
happens
boy.
to be cooking. Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep.
We stand a queen. I love Meryl.
Meryl Streep.
Did you not just hear what I said? Did I stutter?
Her husband in that movie is Stanley Tucci.
I don't even know who her husband is. In real life? I don't know.
Like, no.
Can you drink your mark?
Plays Julia Child, and her husband is Stanley Tucci.
Okay, I don't know what you want.
I want you to go watch this movie. This is your holiday experiment.
Okay,
assignment.
fine. I will watch that movie. But you have to watch. Nothing I can think off the top of my head. So, puberty. Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay.
If you want to ruin your image of him.
Mm-hmm.
Periods. We all get them, except for guys.
Boners. We all get them, except for girls.
Oh my gosh. Do you have any funny boner stories?
No, I think I'm what you can consider like a late bloomer. Like I just grew this mustache I was only able to grow a mustache now.
At 30 years old. Late.
No, I did. I was a bit of a late bloomer, and I think because I had all this like sexual repression from like not being able to be openly gay, I didn't really know that it was like the thing. So like I didn't find myself getting like aroused like people talk about like awkward boner, like you see like those movies and it's like you gotta put like a binder in front of it.
Yeah.
I'm like I did not have that issue.
That's good. I'm glad you didn't have any of those weird
and
experiences.
I'm like thank God. Like,
there's like weird kids like would touch themselves in class. I'm like, what are you doing? But anyways,
no. Oh my God, no. Well, that's the thing. Like my psychosexual development was so stunted because of the shame around it that, oh honey, when I turned like 20 years old though, I caught up.
Yeah.
I caught up.
I'm really happy for you. Speaking of shame, my dad.
Your shame cave.
I feel like if I ever talk about my stepdad, like he's not a monster. He was very tough on me, but I think he was tough on me because he saw the potential in me. And like I said, I was the first in my family to graduate from university, from even like to get my master's. And when I say family, I'm talking like blood. Obviously, my stepdad did go to college and my grandma and all them. But like for me, like it was huge for me to like graduate, be the first in my like blood family. But obviously, they're still my family. Like I'm not trying to be like, oh,
yeah.
I know how to say it without making it awkward.
We get
well,
it.
some people don't.
The first in your line.
Yeah, but some people are like, oh well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say their names, Joanna. But anyways, he like. I'm telling you, I was always grounded. I was always in trouble. I was always talking back. My dad always was like, you're immature. So he was like, you're never going to start your period because your body's not mature enough to like start, which sounds like really like evil. But he like, I think just wanted me to be more mature, I guess. But I remember when I started, it was January 10th. Yes, I remember 2010. I think that's considered late. I think I started like I was
You've been what, 15?
Freshman
16?
or sophomore. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like 15, 16.
I think my mom started like 10. Like I knew girls started real young. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even
It's the
imagine.
hormones in the meat.
So along with the bleeding of my vag, my mom, don't know why, Angie, if you want to comment, never taught me and my sister how to use a tampon.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear, me and my sister have come up with our own conspiracy theory. So my mom got pregnant at a really young age, which
isn't there there's like instructions on the box, aren't there?
Yeah, like those, like you.
No, it's akin to like I've seen the
here.
instructions on like condom boxes too. They're not helpful.
So I know this is gonna sound really stupid, but our theory is that because she got so pregnant young, And I said in another podcast, she said, if you ever get pregnant, we're going to send you to go live to Mexico with your dad, with our biological dad. So we're like, oh no. I think my mom didn't teach us how to use a tampon because she didn't want us like inserting something inside of us. Like, I'm not kidding. This is our theory, Mom. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But like, I don't know what she thought. Like once we got like a taste of something in there, we're like, yeah, let's have sex. Like, I don't know. But I'm at cross country camp. And we're about to go swimming with the boys team to do our like workout in the water. We did a lot of workouts in the water. I loved my coach. He was such a great coach. So I like have
He taught you how to put a tampon in.
No. Ew, no. Please, no. I can't.
I did not get as big a laugh from Joe as I thought I was going to. I thought it was
disgusting. Ew. No, my teammates taught
Stanley
me.
Tucci.
No, ew.
Stanley Tucci me. Oh.
No, Stanley, don't ever touch me.
Catch that action on my kind of fans. Oh.
Shut the fuck up. So I'm at cross country camp, and I have like a panty liner. And I don't know if someone like saw me putting it on, but they're like, what are you doing? And or maybe they knew I was on my period, and I was like, yeah, like we're about to go swimming. They're like, you can't swim with a pad on. And I was like, why not? And they're like, it's going to absorb like a diaper. And like, I was like, okay, so like once you go in the water, like usually your period stops. I don't know if it's some science buoyancy. I don't know. But usually.
The more you know, I didn't know this.
Yeah, ladies. I mean, if you go in the water, your period kind of stops for a little bit. So I was like, figured like I would like absorb like a diaper, take it off, toss it out. My period would kind of stop for the time that was in the water and then like a little bit after. And they're like, no, like you have to use a tampon. And I was like, I don't know how. Like my mom never taught me how. And they're like, all right, so there's a group of like 5 girls in the bathroom here, and there's a stall in our bathroom in our cabin. And they're like, telling me, they're like, okay, just like put it in there. And I was like, no. And at this time, I didn't shave, so like again, full bush, you know. And I'm like, where's my hole? Like, I like didn't never like I don't even masturbate now, so obviously I didn't then. So I'm like, I really don't know like what's down there. It's like hairy, so I'm like. Everyone's trying to tell me how to put it in, right? And they're like, just like stick it in. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm crying in the stall. It's summer. It's humid. My hair's frizzing. I think it took me 3 tampons and 1 hour to finally get one in. And one of my really good friends at the time, she was our captain. She was like, I'm going to school to like be a nurse. Like, I can put it in for you if you want. And I almost had her come in the bathroom because I really like couldn't like put this in me because I've never like stuck anything up my vag like, you know, before this. And like, it was just so weird. And I was reading the directions on the box, like you said, and like didn't help.
Useless directions, yeah.
So I almost had to come in there. So I finally get it in. I come out, look like I just gave birth because I'm telling you, my hair was poofy, like frizzed up.
You pooped a little
curly, bit. No. And we're like, yeah, we finally did it. So fast forward, we're in the water with the boys. I hate seaweed. Hate seaweed. If it touches my leg,
oh, it's like the taste of it. I love seaweed chips. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
So
something in the water.
We're in the water.
Terrifying.
And I feel something brush up against my leg. I almost ripped because I thought it was fucking seaweed. It was my tampon string hanging out in my bikini. And I can't just imagine. Could you imagine if I was like, seaweed, and I fucking chuck my tampon with the boys team in the lake? Like, gosh, I would have been dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was the first time I ever had to put in a tampon. I use them all the time now. I'm okay with them.
Good to know.
Probably you leave them in a little longer than I'm supposed to. I'm going to die. If I ever just like keel over and die, like check to make sure I don't have a tampon inside and I didn't die from TSS, toxic shock syndrome. That's like my one fear. I'm going to die from that. Don't. Yeah, close your mouth. Now I'm making it sound like I'm dirty. I'm not. I like switch my tampons out. Don't worry about me.
Angie, call me. We're going to set up an intervention. Oh my God. Tacos, tears, and TMI. Well, this was riveting.
Tacos, tears, and tampons. I had one more story that I said I was going to share before and I never shared it.
No, it can wait.
I already said I was going to say it before.
Leave them a little something. Leave them a little something.
What time are we at?
We're at like 40 minutes. Yeah, we're there.
Oh, we got enough time for this story.
Okay.
One more story, because I said I was going to talk about it today. No, this one's really simple.
All right, because I took up like the first 20. Okay.
Prom. Oh. Thank the Lord it wasn't my prom.
Can I tell the beginning? Can I tell my prom story real quick? Because mine is rather fast.
Go ahead.
I took 2 women to prom. In true gay fashion, I took 2 ladies. My friends, Lily and Marlena. I wore a white I wore a white suit.
Dude.
The 5-button Nehru collar jacket. I felt very fancy.
Fancy.
Lily missed the assignment completely. She wore an off-white with a red corsage. My stepmother was a florist, which was not a real job back then.
Random.
Like she basically worked 2 days a week.
Yeah, how nice.
Just making flowers. Yeah, I'm like, okay, bitch.
I would die.
But she's the one who ended up like their flower shop ended up getting like the commission to make, you know, a bunch of like corsages and boutonnieres for the whatever. So she ended up making these, and the corsage matched my rented tux and all that. So she got like the fabric to match the whatever. Like she brought my tie into the shop to match the carnations or whatever. Probably the nicest thing she'd ever done for me was whatever. But yeah, Lily wore an off-white dress with the red corsage. Marlena wore an actual white, like pure white dress, matched me more, and I'm like, I wish I had just taken this one girl. But yeah, it was fabulous, and I ended up. Oh my god, the war flashbacks. None of these people literally know me anymore. It's been over a decade. I'm miles away, so baby, I hope you're out to your family. I ended up sneaking away with Aaron Mateer. This guy, I was in classes with his brother. We did theater together, which is so funny that his younger brother was the gay one. I ended up sneaking away with Aaron Mateer to hold his hand in the corner of like the lobby of this hotel. That was like my gay interaction, was like holding his hand. But he was like so nervous the whole time.
Yeah.
Like couldn't whatever, because like if his brother Evan found out, his family would like disown him. Like they were like they like certainly voted for Trump, like 100%. That those people did that.
Why do you keep always talking about politics?
Because it's relevant. But yeah, his family, they were crazy. But yeah, so I'm sorry, Aaron, Evan, if I like rocked your world.
They didn't know. I've been watching the show with my family.
I'm like, your brother's gay.
Well, speaking of, you didn't know this because we haven't talked about this. I also wore a white dress to prom.
Oh my God,
but
friends
again,
before we should have been. Oh.
But again, it wasn't my prom. To my prom, I wore like a pinky corally dress. So my friend, who was a grade below me, when she was a senior, I was a freshman in college. She invited me to her prom.
Your prom? I don't understand that.
Did you not just hear what I fucking said? What did I just say? Repeat it to me, please.
You didn't wear it to your prom.
Yeah, and then what did I say after that?
Then you did go to your prom. But what do you mean, like your prom? Like
you clearly aren't listening. I just said it. You're gonna have to rewind and watch. Anyways, again, round 2, my friend who was in a grade below me, when she was a senior, had her prom, and I was a freshman in college. She invited me. So it wasn't my prom. It wasn't my senior year prom.
Why would you go then?
Because she invited me and she was my best friend.
It's like their thing though.
Oh yeah, so when girls are dating older guys and people from other schools, they can't go.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I just thought it was talking about?
I didn't think that you could go to like a prom that wasn't yours.
Yes. People do it all the time.
Oh.
Well, now that you know.
Not me.
She invited me. I went.
Okay.
I wore a white dress on the bottom, but it was like black up top. And it was one of like long to short dresses. And I'm there, like we're having it at one of our friends' houses. Lots of people, huge group. We get a party bus or like a limo with, I don't know, there's like poles in there, I think. I know for high school students, getting crazy. I don't know. So we get there, we go to prom. I went to high school with 3 high schools on one campus. So the prom was all 3 high schools together here. So I'm dancing all night. There's a stage, like not that high. There's a couple feet off the ground. I get on stage. I'm dancing. We get back on the party bus. Like I'm dancing on, on the poles and like getting crazy like I am. And then her house was huge. She had a basement, the first level, and then a second story. And her room was upstairs. So I walk into the house. And I thought I was getting weird looks from these like kids on the bus, but I just figured it was because like they're like, who the hell is this old ass lady like on our prom bus? Because like a lot of them didn't really know me, just like my 5 friends that were there. And so then I walked.
Like fully hanging out with minors.
I was a year above them. So I walk, first level, go to the basement, go to the bathroom. Someone's in there. Walk back upstairs, go on the first level. Someone's in that bathroom. Go to the top of the bathroom, to her bathroom in her room. Like, that's the kind of house they had. She had a bathroom in her room. Fucking pull my pants down, and I had started my period at prom in a white dress. Don't know when I started. And I told you, I was like dancing up on stage. Could have started then. Was dancing up on the poles in the party bus. No one had the fucking balls to tell me that I started my red period bleeding in a white dress at prom. Like, fuck all you kids.
Was it? Obviously, it was visible.
Yeah, when I had pulled down I had wore an underwear, spandex underneath, and then the dress had 2 layers, and like there was like a spot probably like about this big of blood like behind my tush, and yeah, it was not great. Washed it out, called her mom. I was like, dude, how do you like get blood? And she's like, blah blah blah. I was dating a guy at the time who was 5 years older than me. Comes and he's like, put your dress
like
back
a full
on.
Man.
Yeah, he's like, put your dress back on. And I was like, no, like I started my period. He's like, put your dress back on. I was like, okay. He's like, put my dress back on. It's kind of wet since I'm like trying to rinse blood out of it. And he like had come dressed up with like flowers and like dressed like in prom attire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, to like be special. But I was like, yay. So the picture, I'm like, because I'm bleeding. Like, so yeah, I started my period at prom in a white dress and no one told me. That was the story I wanted to tell. And now I'm done. Tacos, tears, and teenage years. Gotta love them. Share your lovely experiences with us. Down cool.
Thanks for that topic, Maddie. Mm-hmm. We appreciate you.
I didn't think we were going to talk about stuff, but like, I'm like.
It got a little in depth.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
therapy.
Thanks for that.
Tacos, tears, and therapy.
So I won't be going to for the next 2 weeks.
I got your back. I won't judge you. You can talk to me.
Just get me some Wellbutrin. We'll be fine. All right.
Hook him up.
And with that, thank you for listening in, watching in, wherever you found us. This episode of Taco Tearsday.